If the story of the unwashed hands was in the number 2 spot for passages that some Christians may use to say the dietary laws are done away with, then Peter's dream is probably number 1 in that spot. In Acts chapter 10, the story is very simple. Peter has a dream, a voice comes to him and say, kill and eat on a roll full of animals that is clean and unclean. Peter replied, he never ate anything unholy or unclean. And the voice replied with, what God has cleansed, do not call unclean. And this basically happened 3 times. Now the key exchange is like in verses 14 to 15. I'm just gonna read it right here. I don't know why I need to pull it up. In verses 14 and 15, but Peter said, by no means, Lord, for I have never eaten anything unholy and unclean. Again, a voice came to him a second time, what God has cleansed, no longer consider unholy. And honestly, I used the same passage before in the past that says, oh, that verse right there, or those verses right there, is the perfect example why we can eat pork. I used to use these verses in the past to support that notion. I say notion. I used to use these verses in the past to support that. But the thing is very simple because verse 28 kind of tells the whole story. And he said to them, you yourselves know that it is forbidden for a Jewish man to associate with or visit a foreigner, and yet God has shown me that I am not to call any person unholy or unclean. The meaning is very simple. Peter is not to call any foreigner or stranger unclean. It's very simple. Sometimes people may use that verse and say there's a double meaning behind the unclean people and the dietary laws, but that'd be reading what you want to read into the text instead of what 28 already states. I mean, there are multiple dreams in the Bible where one thing is shown, but a different thing is the meaning of the dream. Joseph didn't have sheaves of wheat bowing down to him. He didn't have the sun, moon, or stars bowing down to him. There weren't actually 7 fat cows being swallowed by 7 thin cows, or 7 full ears of grain being swallowed by 7 thin scorched ones. I'm pretty sure most Christians would say they don't think Daniel's dream or revelation is going to happen literally as stated right there. I don't think there's an actual dragon going to come by. What I think now, so Peter was probably already thinking about food and God gave him a dream that dealt with that. Even after the dream, Peter was still confused on what seems like a simple command. It most likely has nothing to do with the dietary law. So I got, say like, subscribe, comment. I got other videos about the Mark chapter 7 or other dietary commands, but that's all I got.